Today we're building Cinderella's house, so if you enjoyed this video, why not leave it a like and a comment down below, and let's just jump into the build. Hello everyone, Auvbri here, and welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4. As you can probably tell, this is a freaking long video because it's a very huge build actually. So in this build, and I'm not gonna lie, there's not gonna be any interior just because I honestly don't know. So this is the house from the 2015 film adaptation of the Cinderella movie, which I have recently seen, and I thought it was such a good movie, and the house was, I mean, it was just so beautiful looking, so I thought I would try to recreate it. So that's what we're gonna do here, and the reason as of now that I didn't do it in interior is because this video is so long, and I mean almost 30 minutes, and it took me about 3-4 hours just to do the outside. So I'm thinking that maybe if we decide to do the interior, it would be in a live stream or something like that, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am probably gonna have a hard time doing the interior if I don't want to. I mean, I have to be motivated to do it, so I think it will probably be on a live stream that we're gonna do that. And the other reason that we are not having any interior in this build whatsoever is because in the movie it's very hard to distinguish where everything is located. So we kind of know where the entrance is in the hallway and stuff like that, but beyond that, everything is just up to the imagination. So I wanted to kind of try to do a bit more research before jumping into the build with, you know, head first, and just kind of try to figure out how everything is located. So for example, the back of the house here, there's only, and I was looking through the whole movie, there's only like 2 or 3 shots where you actually see the backside of the house. So I had to work off of my imagination and the side of the house as well. I had to kind of try to, you know, mix in what I knew it would look like with what I imagined it would look like, and trying to combine those two, and that's how we turned up with this house. So currently the roofing pieces are green, and I initially wanted them to be green because that's the color that they are in the movie and in the pictures, but it just, yeah, I don't know, there's just something about that green color here. It just did not match up with what was in the movie, so I didn't want to force a really, let's say, ugly color, because it's, I don't think it's pretty, so I didn't want to force that on the build. We're of course working on Cinderella's tower at the moment, which is located in the back and at the highest point, so she can be all alone, and her evil stepmother is probably going to lock her into her room. So actually, if you guys want, let's just show a quick picture up in the corner here. So this is kind of what I'm trying to figure out, what I'm trying to recreate. So as you can see, it's a very small picture. There's not a lot of detail in, because in the movie, I'm gonna reference the movie a lot here because that's what we're working off. So in the movie there are a lot of close-up shots at the house from outside, but you're not gonna see the small finer details. So that's only in the shots from above, swooping down, you know, going down to the house, whatever. That's the only real chance you get to to see any detail. So I had to work a lot with my imagination here, and also with the game's limitation, I had to try and figure out how I could, you know, cheat the game and trying to do things a bit different. So yeah, what are we doing here? So again, still working on the roofing pieces, because as you can see, if you saw the picture, in the picture there's a lot of stuff going on in the roof. So we have a lot of chimneys, there's a lot of these smaller windows sticking out, a lot of different types of roof pieces. I mean, one end of the house was like a sloping roof and the other end was just a harsh cutoff. And then there was some roofing pieces like the one we have in the front here, sticking out, leading to nowhere. But it had to be there because it was in the build. And I actually think in the end it turned out to be a really, really nice build. I mean, I'm overall really happy about how everything turned out. I had to take, again, some creative liberties with the overall build and certain stuff, because I couldn't actually find an exact match for the wallpaper for the outside of the house. We're gonna go with this one, and I'm going to mix in some stonework from the Jungle Adventures game pack, just because that fitted really well. Yeah, what else? What else is going on here? So, oh yeah, windows. So for some reason in the movie, I believe that Cinderella only had one window, but I couldn't actually see it in the screenshots or in the movie when it was like going down into the house. So I just decided to put in these small windows that was barely visible, but you can kind of see that they're there. So that's kind of how we worked around that. Moved downstairs here into the front of the build. So I was working on the entrance here. We're gonna fix that archway, but that's only going to be in the end of the build, because I found something better that just looked better, and it just overall fit better with what I was trying to do. But it's like this stone archway. Again, I think it came with the World Adventure stuff pack. So I decided to use that instead. On the side, I was trying to figure out if I could maybe skip some of these wallpapers here and just kind of, you know, work around it and try to have something else, because I was not happy about how, I don't know, it just looks too uniform, you know. It's very rough looking, and I know that this house is where bad people lives, but it's still a very beautiful house, I think. So I wanted to do justice, and it looks so harsh with the old stonework around the place. So I was trying to figure out how I could soften that a bit. Just gonna have a sip of water because it's, again, very hot here in Denmark. So tell me down in the comment section below, how hot is it in your country, and where are you currently located? And I said this in my previous house building video as well, but here especially in Scandinavia, we don't usually have it this hot. So the temperatures at the moment swings around 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, which is ridiculously hot, especially here. This is the kind of weather that we would travel to the south to experience, but we don't have to anymore because it's so hot here. And I'm not even lying, the travel agencies have like lowered their prices to ridiculously cheap prices to get people to travel to the south, which is really funny. And it's actually it's gotten to be so hot here that the government have banned all lighting, like fire and barbecues in public areas, and you're not allowed to burn off leaves and stuff like that in your garden anymore until we get some water, because it's so dry and hot here at the moment, which is again something we don't actually experience that much here. So it's kind of a new thing. I could do with some rain at the moment, just because it's so dry. Like the grass is slowly like drying out, and it's just I've never experienced anything like it. So tell me down below what is the temperature where you are at the moment, and do you like the heat? Because I could I like it. I could do without at the moment. It's just it's become a bit ridiculous how hot it actually is. So yeah. While I've been rambling, you can kind of see that I've built some more stuff. We started to put in windows. I tried to, especially in the sides of the building, I tried to kind of blend it in with what I thought it was gonna look like, because again, it's very vague. Yeah, that's the word. it's very vague in the movie what it actually looks like. I mean, there's just such brief shots that it's not actually. I wasn't able to recreate it 100%. So I had to just kind of work off of my imagination. So and here we changed the roofing pieces just because I thought this looked better. It looked more closely to what was in the movie, except it isn't green. Because that green color, I couldn't actually achieve it. It's more like the green color from the movie, if you've ever seen bronze, like not fresh bronze, like really old bronze, on roofing pieces. We have it a lot here in Denmark, especially on the really old castles and old buildings built by our previous king, one of our previous kings. Then it gets like this grain-ish color. It actually looks really good. It looks so much different when they actually polish it up and decide to polish it so it just looks like it's supposed to. But living with that green color, it's kind of like that, and there's just nothing like it in The Sims, unfortunately. So I had to kind of try to figure something else out. So I thought that having the roof look as close to the original as possible, but still not being green, was the best way to go. And then I tried to play around with green accents instead. So that's kind of the compromise that we went for here. In the meantime, I've been building the stables, which is right next to the house. I really wish there was horses with the Sims 4 Cats and Dogs expansion. I mean, yeah, that expansion was kind of a letdown to me, because I feel like The Sims 3 did a lot of expansion packs so much better than what we have gotten in The Sims 4. But I'm not gonna complain about that, because we're gonna get seasons, and I'm so hyped for that expansion pack. I mean, I've marked it in my calendar. I've already gotten the game. I've pre-ordered it, and I'm looking forward to it so much. So do you guys look forward to seasons? Because it's definitely one of my favorite expansion packs that they do in the Sims series. I think Seasons University is also a really good expansion pack. What else? What else? Oh, in The Sims 3, they did the Island Paradise expansion pack, which was a really cool pack. I loved that. That was so good. So yeah, again, looking really forward to seasons. So going out in the backyard here, I'm just jumping around all over the place just because when I'm building, if I get an idea and I don't do it almost right away, I tend to forget that idea. So I decided to just jump around places, doing things, and then get back to other things because I knew what I was going to do with that. So we have a little pavilion here in the backyard. In the movie, this is placed right behind, and actually a little further behind the house than this, but because I was running out of space, because the lot size is ridiculously small. I was trying to place the pavilion in a space where I thought it would make sense for it to be. So I decided to place it kind of in the corner, but still behind the house, so you could still see it from the front. And then we could have a pathway go from the front of the house, which I recreated. We're gonna do it now actually, but I recreated that from the movie, looking really careful because that is one of the things I could recreate. Of course, I put in some more plants just to, brighten up the place and make it look a bit better. It's just, but yeah, I tried to recreate this as faithfully as possible, but having the pathway go to the back here, to the side of the house where there's also an entrance, and then of course to the stables, which I'm creating now, with no horses, of course. Oh yeah, tell me, is this a problem you guys have as well? I'm having this problem where if I'm placing, and you're gonna see me struggle with it here, but if you place a fencing piece and then a piece for the fence to, what is that, like a fencing door, I can't remember what it's called, but if you place that on top of each other, then the fencing piece will sometimes disappear for some unknown reason. I have no idea why. And then you have to kind of move the fencing opening door thing. Oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. But you have to move that around until you find a place where the fence comes back, which is so ridiculous. I've no idea, and it's been like that since the release of The Sims 4. And it's just things like that they just don't seem to really mind or care that it's like that. So do you guys have that problem as well? Because that's really annoying. But yeah, okay, so the rest of the build here is just going to be me doing a lot of landscaping, doing a lot of like decorating the place, making it look nicer, making it look just a little bit like it does in the movie. Because again, yes, we have limitations with The Sims 4. So I was trying to recreate what I could see in the movies, and trying to recreate that as faithfully as possible, with the plans that is available. And then I also took some creative liberties just because I wanted it to look nice. I wanted it to look like a fairy tale house, which it is. So I took some creative liberties with the garden stuff, but I still tried to make it look as faithfully accurate as possible to the movie. So we started with placing a lot of these hedges, and if you want to know how you can scale things down, I would love to tell you guys. I really would. But I play on a Nordic keyboard, which means I have letters that a standard English keyboard doesn't have. Therefore, my letters and keys are not placed in the same space that, for example, an English keyboard or an American keyboard would have those keys in. So I have to change my keyboard type in Windows to English and then use those extra keys that I have where there is a letter. But I do believe that it's the left and right brackets keys to scale things up and down, and to move things up and down I actually have to press Control 9 or 0. So there you go. If you're in a Nordic country, I press the Control and Shift, and then I press the what would that be? That would be the O and the one next to O, which is a plus sign for some unknown reason. But yeah, that's the kind of keys that I press, and but you can just Google it. I mean, a lot of, especially like Sims VIP or Carl Sims or websites like that, have all the answers for you. So if there's something you're ever in need of knowing in The Sims 4, you can just Google it. I mean, Google is an amazing place to figure out stuff like this. So check out Google. So yeah, we started to decorate the house with plants, and yeah, there's a lot of it. A lot of climbing ivy and climbing flowers on the walls. I'm gonna change the color of those flowers to white just because I didn't want the yellow to be so dominating. I also put in probably a bit more ivy and hanging ferns and plants than I should, but I was trying to again create this feeling of a magical place. And in the pictures, again, very hard to differentiate. Yeah, you can say that. Differentiate what is going on, because it seems to be changing somewhat over the movie. And I know there's like where time passes by, but it just seems to be a bit random at times where plants are located. So I was just trying to do it as, until I thought it looked good. So in the back here, I decided to place these plants that came with the Jungle Adventures, which is all flowers, and I thought it looked amazing, especially in white. It just made it pop so much more, and you could actually see that it was a little turret tower thing. Some hanging ivy and some, what is it called? Ferns, that's the word I was looking for. Just some ivy all over the place, just to, kind of tie everything together and making everything look nicer. I was trying to use a lot of flowers with a pop of color, and then neutralize those a bit with the more toned down whites and green colors that we can have in the garden now. I really do love landscaping in The Sims 4. The only thing I need is a terrain editing tool at this point. I mean, why don't we have one of those? It's just, I know they say it's because of the gallery and when you upload stuff and blah, 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 but in my head, if you would upload for example, a lot like this to the gallery, and I had done some terrain editing, why wouldn't they just carry that over into the gallery so that lot would have the terrain editing that I intended it for I intended for it to have. I mean, it's just yeah, I just think it's something with a somewhat of a limitation to The Sims 4, but hopefully in The Sims 5 we're gonna get that. I'm looking really forward to it. I was trying to create a little piece around the pavilion here, just to kind of make it stand out a bit more, blending those two terrain painting brushes together and trying to create like little pathways around the pavilion as well. And then I was like, okay, so we need something different here, something that's gonna make it pop a bit more. So I was trying to just use green and red here, which I have to say, it made it look really nice. It made it look it popped definitely. So you kind of notice it here. So green, red and white. That's kind of what we're going for here, with some more red colors, and that's kind of it. I mean, at this point I should probably have put in a bit more effort into what was actually inside of the pavilion, but again, that's something for future landscaping or future interior work that I do think is probably going to be in a live stream. And there's actually somebody pointed this out to me, because I actually have a lot of viewers from Australia and from South America, I believe. I'm gonna try to take into account you guys when I decide next time to live stream. So I know Australia is ahead of time, so it would be in the middle of the night when I would usually stream. So maybe if I stream a bit earlier, you guys can actually, you know, get to watch the stream as well. And in the American, they are behind me, so they could actually watch it in the morning. So it's kind of like a balance act, but I'm trying to make everybody happy here. But I will definitely keep that in mind next time I'm deciding to stream. So definitely be sure to stay tuned for that. But we're almost finished here. I'm gonna jump into the screenshots in a little bit. I was just looking for some decorations for the outside here, where I kind of imagined Cinderella would do the laundry. But let's jump into the screenshots. So here we have the screenshots here. You can kind of see the back of the house with the pavilion. Looking at it now, all of the plants definitely made this build come to life. I mean, it just did something for the house itself and made it look so much more fairy tale-ish than it did before. So on that account, I'm super happy. And then I had my sim walk around in her underwear, because that was the most Cinderella-like look she had, and I was trying to make her fit in. So the pavilion here, and we could kind of see the back side, and also the right side of the house entrance, which is where I had to take some creative liberties. Some more shots from the back here, and I really do love how this turned out. A shot from above, so you can see where everything is located from the one side with the pavilion, and from the front again. So remember, if you want this build, it's on the gallery right now. You could just search my origin ID, which is Auvbri, and you should be able to find it. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out some of my other videos right here? Maybe you'll find something you like. And there's nothing else for me to say other than, yeah, have a truly fantastic day wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next time for another video.